Today we're working on Gavotte number 10 by Lully from Suzuki Book 2. Welcome back. Welcome to the studio. My name is Cassie and I'm a professional violist and teaching artist. So today we're working on Lully Gavotte number 10, and there's a few technique things in this piece I want to go over before we get into playing through the piece. The first thing, I'm going to go in order in the appearance in the piece, is a new rhythm. It's a dotted quarter note. So I tell my students to think of something that adds up to 3. I tell them I like cheese. If you don't like cheese, you can say 1 and 2, or viola is great. Anything that adds up to 3 syllables. So we're going to start in measure 10 of this piece, and we're going to practice that new rhythm. Let's go to playing position. And it's the second B flat, so it's the quarter note that's got the dot next to it. And out loud I'm going to say I like cheese, just so we hold it for the correct number of beats. Ready? Go. I like cheese. Let's do that one more time. Ready? Go. I like cheese. If you wanted to count the beats here, this note appears on beat 3, so I would say 3 and 4. So let's try that one last time, and I'll say the beats this time. Ready? Go. 3 and 4. So saying something that adds up to 3 helps us keep track of the beats and hold that note for the correct duration. The next new thing that we have is a trill. This appears in measure 20 of the piece, and it's a note that says TR above it. So we're going to do an exercise before we get into actually playing the trill. So let's go to playing position. I'm going to set my first finger, and I'm just going to practice tapping the string with my 2. We want to be lifting and plopping from the base knuckle, so you should be able to hear it. We're going to start out with rhythms. I'm going to do eighth notes first, then triplets, sixteenths, sextuplets, and then we're going to do the actual trill. So that looks like this. So it's eighths first, triplet, 16th, sextuplet, and then trill. So let's try that together one more time. Eighths, triplets, sixteenths, sextuplets, and then the trill. Ready? Go. So now might be a good time to stop the video and just practice that a couple of times if trill's a little bit difficult for you. Our next new thing, there's a lot of new things in this video, is the D minor scale. So our notes are D, E, F natural, G, A, B, C sharp, D. And that brings us to our next new thing, which is shifting, but we'll get to that in a second. So let's try that D minor scale. This is measure 21 of the piece. So we're starting on open D, E, brings us to our shift. So I just wanted to make you aware that we have a new scale in this piece, D minor. All right, shifting. We're going to do an exercise first. I'm going to take my first finger on the A string, and I'm not going to push into the string. I'm going to glide on top like I'm ice skating. I'm just going to move up and down the neck. Notice that my arm moves as a unit. I'm not flopping my wrist. My thumb isn't staying back behind here when I shift. Everything moves as a unit. If I didn't have my viola in place, it would look like this. So we don't want any floppies. Nice and straight, everything all together. And you should hear a kind of whooshing sound if you're doing it correctly. So we're going to go to where my palm touches the upper bout and back again. And then we're going to just kind of casually make the distance a little bit less and a little bit less each time. Now that we've got that basic motion, I'm going to practice shifting from first position, where I usually play, to third position, which is just where my third finger usually goes. I'm replacing that with my 1. So on the A string again, I'm going to play my first finger B, third finger D, and I'm going to use that shifting motion we just learned to shift between very slowly. You know that you've reached D if it sounds like that third finger you just played, or you can check with your open string or a tuner. Let's do that one more time. First finger B, third finger D, light finger weight, shift between. If you get this clicking sound, that means you're pressing your finger into the string too hard or your bow into the string too hard. So everything should be nice and light and easy. Let's do that one more time. First finger, third finger, shift to third position. So we're going to practice that now in the context in which it's printed on the page. Before I get to that shift, I'm going to stop and do exactly what I just did. 1, 3, shift, and then we'll continue on in third position. So I'm starting in measure 21 at the beginning of that D minor scale. Freeze, play 1, 3, shift between. Then I'm going to set my 2 high on E and my 3 low on F natural. 2, 1. Let's do those 4 notes again. First finger is D, 3 is F, 2 is E. F, E, D. Our next note is back in first position, so I'm going to do the same thing in reverse. My first finger with light finger weight shifts back down to first position. Everything moves together as a unit, no wrist first. Everything comes together, and I'm going to plop my 2 high. Then we've got a low 1, so reach backwards for that B flat. Let's put all of that together again. Open D. Shift in between. Plop low 3, high 2. Freeze, shift backwards, plop high 2, low 1. So now would be a good time to stop the video and just practice that shift or practice the scale, practice your notes in third position, just to get a little bit more acclimated with that. And it's totally fine if this seems really foreign or really hard. It's something that's completely new to you. Maybe you've never shifted before, and we never expect anybody to do something completely new to them perfect the first time. So take a little bit of time, practice that, and then come back to the video. The last new thing we have here is treble clef. Treble clef we have to read in sometimes so that the ledger lines aren't too high above the staff. You can even see with that third finger F we played, it's already 2 ledger lines above the staff, and if we go any further than that, it gets a little bit unwieldy to read. So the great thing about this piece is the part that's in treble clef is just a repetition of the part that was in alto clef. So if you need a reference, the very first note in treble clef is an A, then B, C sharp, A. So that's on the A string, open, 1, 2, open. So that should get you started for the notes. For the spaces, the notes from the bottom to the top in treble clef are face, F, A, C, E, and the lines are E, every, good, burger, deserves, fries, E, G, B, D, F. So that'll give you a reference and a starting point for that. And as violists, we do often have to read in treble clef, so it's great to know it. So now that we've got all those techniques a little bit better under our belt, we're going to do the slow version and then the fast version. So let's go to playing position. Double check your bow hold, curvy thumb, curvy pinky, fingers slightly spread apart. And I will count 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and then we'll begin the slow version. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. we've got our slow version, we're going to do an at-tempo version. Let's go to playing position. This is just a little bit faster. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Hopefully you found this video useful. Thanks so much for joining me today. If you have any questions, comments, or future videos you'd like me to make, please post those below because I do read it. Happy practicing!